Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Ojai Historic Preservation Commission meeting of Thursday, November 10th. Mr. Winiger, would you like to lead us in roll call?
Yes, thank you. Chairman McCready?
Here.
Commissioner Quinn?
Present.
Commissioner Convery?
Here.
Commissioner James? Here. Commissioner Vogt? Here. We are expecting Commissioner Akins and Commissioner,
Hill.
Hill has an excused absence this evening.
Thank you. With that, if you'll rise, I'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Members of the public wishing to address the Historic Preservation Commission on items appearing on the agenda are requested to complete a speaker's card and file it with the secretary prior to the start of the Historic Preservation Commission meeting. Cards are available in the council chambers lobby. All comments should be limited to 3 minutes unless additional time is granted by the chair. Speakers should state their name and address for the record and must direct their comments to the chair, not the audience or press. While the Historic Preservation Commission is in session, members of the commission, city staff, and members of the audience are expected to maintain order and decorum and to obey the orders of the chair. With that, I'll invite Museum Representative Mark Lewis to address the council commission. Mr. Lewis, welcome.
Thank you, Chair McCready, and thank you for the opportunity, the monthly opportunity to update you and the community on what's going on at the museum. We're now well launched on our Libby Centennial Jubilee year, yay! Which we started programming on Ojai Day. We'll run through Ojai Day of next year, and of course, the point is to explain to people just why we have an Ojai Day. It's great to buy stuff and eat stuff and drink stuff, but we're celebrating, but the first Ojai Day was when Edward Libby completed the first phase of his makeover of this town, and they changed the name to Ojai, and he handed the deed to Tony Thatcher's grandfather, Sherman Day Thatcher, and they had a big party. And that was really when Ojai, as we understand it, began, and we're celebrating the centennial all through this year, and in particular in April, which is the actual centennial of that event. Meanwhile, our current exhibit is called Art Town. It features our exhibit and the city's exhibit, commingled, which is a terrific show. It amounts to a greatest hits of Ojai artists, past and present, including many OSA members and people from like Beatrice Wood. It's a terrific exhibit. We urge everyone to come down and have a look. It opened on Ojai Day. The next exhibit, actually I'm supposed to be writing it, maybe later tonight, do a little bit more work on that. It is about the history of that the centennial is celebrating, why Libby did what he did here, and why it matters. And that will be opening, I believe, on January 8th and run through the winter and into the spring. And we're looking forward to having a really special exhibit, and we hope you'll come and see that one as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. With that, we'll start with consent item number 1. That's the minutes of the June 9th, 2016 regular meeting. If any of the commissioners have comments or changes or corrections, I have none.
Mr. Chair, I'd just like to make a comment if I could.
Please.
These particular set of minutes have been around for a while, and we've discussed them several times.
Mm-hmm.
At your last meeting, you asked that staff go back and look at the remarks, in particular made by Mayor Pro Tem Wyrick, because there was some improvement needed in clarity.
I saw that.
We did that. So I hope these changes more appropriately reflect his remarks and are more intelligible.
And that's all that we had on that.
That's correct.
So these, as far as I can see, they're correct. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Vogt?
Aye.
Commissioner Convery? Did you second them?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Commissioner Quinn? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, aye.
Commissioner Quinn?
Yes.
Commissioner James? Yes. Chairman McCready?
Yes.
Motion carries. Those minutes are approved. Thank you.
Thank you. The regular meeting minutes of Thursday, October 13th, 2016. On page 4 of 5, under comments of Chair McCready, on the last line, does not think the requirements are restrictive enough. I think I said, does not think the requirements are restrictive or onerous.
Okay.
That's all I have. Yes.
Any other comments?
Do I have a motion to approve as amended?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner James? Thank you.
Commissioner Vogt?
Aye.
Commissioner James?
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn?
Yes.
Commissioner Convery?
Yes.
Chair McCready?
Yes, thank you.
Motion carries. The minutes of October 13th are approved with the correction as noted.
Thank you. With that, we move to item 3, sign permit S16-25 for the business Glow West Beauty located at 306 East Ojai Avenue on the City of Ojai landmark, historic landmark number 5, the Ojai Arcade. Mr. Winiger?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. This is a request by Glow West Beauty and Melissa Desmond on behalf of Glow West Beauty to install a new sign advertising Glow West Beauty at 306 Ojai Avenue in the city's arcade. Your staff report contains illustrations of the proposed sign, and you have the actual sign present this evening. Staff recommends approval of it. One of the provisions or the standards of the arcade design guidelines is to encourage use of signs which are wood elements, and that is noted in your staff report. On page 2 of 3 in the discussion of arcade design guidelines, to include backgrounds of earth colors, browns, natural or stained woods. The proposed sign, as you can see, consists of a laminated wood background and body with metallic lettering indicating the business. As I indicated to you prior to the meeting, I did have a discussion with Commissioner Terry Hill, who has an excused absence this evening. He just wanted to comment that he thought the sign was very appropriate and consistent with the guidelines. He mentioned that he thought that, at least in the illustrations, that the actual lettering could pop out a little bit more. But I think as you see it here this evening, especially with a metallic background, it will read appropriately. But I did want to mention those comments for the record. And that concludes our staff report. We do recommend approval of the sign as detailed in your permit conditions.
I move approval of the sign.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Would the applicant like to address the commission? Please, go ahead. Yes, and please introduce yourself. And
My name is Sean Scott, and I'm the husband of the owner, Natasha Scott, and her partner is Missy Desmond, who's on the phone. And don't let my hair influence you going in there. Please stop in there and say hi. It's right in between the Vine and I think Kindred Spirits is right in. They're right in between those two businesses. And when I designed this, I went through the guidelines of the form, and I wanted to keep a very nice earth wood, and it's mahogany and different woods laminated together. But then I wanted kind of a flashy, text for the typeface and the border. And so design was one of the main priorities. The other priority was safety. And the lags are 300 and I think it's referenced in there, but 360-pound lags each on each side, and they've been epoxied in because, you don't want a sign falling on someone's head or something. So safety was a big concern too of it, and just trying to make the arcade look pleasant and enjoyable, and to have people enjoy it. And thank you for having me tonight. I
Oh,
appreciate it.
Thank you. Are there any questions
I have
from
a
the commissioners?
question. I have a question about the material. Is it copper? What it's?
It's a laser cut material that's an acrylic, and then it has like a light layer of copper on top of it, so that the laser can cut through it pretty easily.
Will it change? Will it turn? Will it copperize later? Does it?
I don't think
Thank
so,
you.
because I think I think it's more of like a synthetically made metal that has like a coating on it, and but if it does tarnish and look ugly, by all means tell us.
No,
and
I
we'll-
think it would look fine. I think it.
Yeah,
would,
with metal, it does look pretty neat when it starts to get
Yeah.
that coppery. So
Yeah, and
time
I'm
will tell,
looking
I
at
guess.
The vine looks like the lettering on the vine is metal. Is that true? I'm just looking at the picture. I can't remember because.
Yeah, it's like it actually has like a really like industrial iron band
Yeah.
around it, and
Oh,
then like
yeah.
the letters are
Okay.
like iron letters as well.
Okay. So that makes sense because there's more metal in the arcade than I thought, but
Yeah,
that's nice. I like the wood.
thank you.
Are there other commissioner comments or questions for the applicant? Do I have a motion?
So moved?
Do I have a second?
I'm sorry, Commissioner Vogt, I'm sorry, Commissioner Lewis, Commissioner James,
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn,
Yes.
Commissioner Convery,
Yes.
Commissioner Akins,
Yes.
Chairman McCready.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
And
Thank you very
for
much.
your beautiful sign.
Thank you very much. Come and visit us.
Oh, we'll be there.
I forgot to ask for disclosure of site visits and ex parte contacts, so
I'll start, no.
I just
None.
walked by to see where his shop was. I walked by to see where the shop was, and then I realized it was the old Busy Babe shop.
I did as well.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry for missing that. With that, we have the informational item, future agenda items. Mr. Brinegar?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. For your December 8th meeting, we tentatively have 2 items scheduled. The work permit for the gates at the Ojai Museum, that's been anticipated for a couple of months now. And the work permit for 1010 Foothill Road, that's for a single-family residence. I believe you had a pre-application.
We had a concept review, yes?
Correct, concept review. Yes, thank you very much. I also wanted to give a brief update on the historic reports or historic resource reports for the Smith Hobson House, which is our city hall here, and the Chaparral School. It's taken some time to get the materials for the school report in particular. So there's been a lag in time on both the reports as a result, but we're anticipating those now early December. And I wanted to mention in particular that I did have a discussion with the city manager regarding the discussion that took place here at the last meeting regarding the council chambers, and we think that the report on the Smith Hobson House would be a good opportunity to provide additional comments on that and have an evaluation of that situation at that time. So.
Move that ball forward.
Right, exactly. As far as the text amendment goes regarding the city's historic preservation ordinance, as you know, the city council did have the term sheet presented to them and provided direction to staff. I'm working with the community development director, Ms. Wold, to break it down into and provide a sort of a matrix for the council to see what the proposal is and what the genesis of that a particular amendment recommendation is from the Historic Preservation Commission. And I think we're anticipating that's going to go back to council in early January.
Okay.
There was some talk at the last meeting about a joint meeting with council. Is that still on?
Yes, it is. I don't remember the date. I think it's the first week in February, if I remember correctly.
Just clarification, in the city council meeting, there was a motion made by Councilman Wyrick that the joint meeting was already scheduled for February, but there was a motion by Councilman Wyrick in the meeting I attended that they get together before February 1st. So I'm not sure how those two are being coordinated we have Mayor Blatz here. He might be able to clarify that. Since I have two hats, I don't routinely follow up on how the museum is coming with their historical report, but I did hear that they were waiting for it to show up imminently from the people that are doing that for us. So they're as anxious to get this going as we are.
Thank you. With that, open it up to commissioner comments. I would start then with a little report on Ojai Day. We had over 500 visitors to the historic Ojai Jail. It was a pretty busy day, and I wanted to thank staff for arranging everything, the tables, the tent, and having the jail cleaned prior to, and I wanted to make sure that we got a letter of thanks to Dwayne Bauer. And thank him for providing the old police car there. So I'll follow up with the director with that, to make sure that we get a letter out to him, because he indicated to me that he keeps them for his record on the car.
Oh, cool.
So, if there are no other comments, I would like to, Commissioner Akins?
Couple questions. Again, I haven't had a chance to review the city council meeting and not knowing whether the discussion took place, but there was on the agenda item. They were going to determine what the resolution was on the one of the three recently filled seat on the Historic Preservation Commission, that one of them would be moved to 2 years. So I'm not sure what happened with that. Again, we have Mayor Blatz. He'll be able to answer that for us.
I can answer it. I have the short term.
You drew the short straw, or you volunteered for it?
No, they drew the short straw for me. So
Oh, okay.
I'm out in May of 18. And I think everyone else has then full terms.
Okay, for the others that came in. Okay, thank you, Thais. Another question I had, again, for the mayor, is we had presented, I think it was approved, in fact, I'm pretty sure it was approved for the Historic Preservation Award for the year for Pat Weinberger. Typically, that has been done in the first city council meeting in December in the past, so I was wondering when that was going to be done, just so we can be there and support that nomination. A reminder that we got an email from Sherry, again, I might have missed this, on the commissioner dinner that's upcoming, 14th? No, 16th. 16th, good, thank you. And I was talking with our former commissioner, longtime Commissioner Rose Boggs, sometime in the past couple weeks, and she reminded me that the city council had not done a recognition of the decades that she had been on the Historic Preservation Commission, and I think that would be nice if the city could do that. So those are the items I had on my list. Thank you for being here, Mayor.
Well, let me invite Mayor Blatz to address the commission.
May I make a preliminary comment? I'm just curious, do we have to do anything formal with regard to Ms. Boggs?
No.
Okay.
Good
Mayor
evening,
Blatz?
everybody.
Good evening.
How you doing?
Good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
It's always a pleasure when I'm the liaison to the HPC. It's one of my favorite commissions. It wasn't straws that we drew. It was names out of a hat, by the way. We put everybody's name in a hat, and then we drew it out, and you got the short term. To answer a couple of your questions, one is the issue of Pat Weinberger did not come up before the council. I think we were waiting to get something formal from the commission to ask us to do that, and we certainly would.
Her name is in nomination.
Okay.
Yes.
Did that come before us then? It usually, those kinds of things come to us in the first meeting in December, because that's when the new council usually takes its place. And so we like to wait for the new council because it's so late in the year and the term. So I presume it's going to be on the December one, or the first meeting in December's agenda, but I haven't seen it. So
Okay.
I'll double check on that.
Okay, because I do believe it has come before you. I believe I was at that meeting, so it would have been maybe a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
I'll double check.
check it if you would.
I certainly.
Because I don't remember it, Brian. And I did miss one meeting in that time frame, so it might have been that meeting, I'm not sure. Well, the election's over, so we can all get back to normality here. We're going to have 2 new members on the council, which is exciting. Johnny Johnston's going to be our new elected mayor, and Sousa Francina is going to take the spot that was vacated by Savaro Lara. So I'm looking forward to working with both of those new individuals. That's usually done the first meeting in December. However, this year, because the mail-in ballots are allowed to be received at the County Government Center until the 14th, I don't know when they're going to certify the vote. It's always the first council meeting after the vote is certified. So I'm thinking if it's the 14th of November, we still should be able to have everybody seated by the first meeting in December, I would think. I hope so. Yeah. And also, we did advance the joint meeting with the HPC. I don't remember exactly what meeting it was put on to, but Mayor Pro Tem Wyrick made a motion that he didn't want to wait to February, and we agreed, so it's been advanced. But I think it was advanced to the first meeting in January, is what I recall. And the reason is that we did these term sheets, and we thought that that one of the most important aspects of these new term sheets had to do with terminology for historic preservation and definitions. And we thought some of them were kind of vague, and we wanted to have more clarification on that. I can't remember exactly which ones they were, but they were. The way that it came back, it was confusing and a little bit ambiguous. So we just wanted to make sure that was cleared.
Okay. You have anything else for us?
No? Anybody have any questions of me? Nice to see everybody.
Thank you, Mayor
Thank
Blatz.
you.
And don't we wish all meetings were this short?
Yes. With that, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Short and sweet. It's easy, except it's later than it's supposed to be. It's dark.
I know, I don't like when
And I got it into my head that the meeting was at 6, so I was like, at 4 o'clock, I looked and I was, oh my God. That's exciting.
because what do you do about them?
Mr. Winiger, do you turn it off? Okay. Thank you so much.
Just was so shit.
Yeah, that one, meeting was till 10. I hadn't eaten.
How was the last meeting? I missed it.
So, let's do it.
Okay, it was like this.
Oh.
Maybe not quite as fast,
Yeah.
but it was,
Pretty low key.
we didn't have anything.
Good.
Mr. Akins? I want to congratulate you on your comments on the ordinances as reported in the newspaper.
Oh, yeah, when they were